Happy frickin' Saturday, everybody. You weekend warriors, you fly-by-night EDC fanatics. How's it going, everybody? Welcome in. Another round of applause for those of you in the chat here live on a Saturday night, because it's 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and you know what that means. That means that from coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, we're live once again. And today is a great day because yet again, we have woken up on the right side of the dirt. And that is something to be very grateful for. Personally, I'm excited. I'm stoked. Tomorrow is my very first official Father's Day as a father. So, yeah. I'm very, very excited about that. Am I going to do anything like super crazy? No. But it is nice to be recognized, you know, to have a day, you know, because unfortunately there's not a whole lot of like, you know, early 30s white pride months or days. You know, I'm part of a demographic that rarely gets recognized. I'm sure you guys understand. Not that I need that recognition. I don't need that recognition. But regardless, I'm excited. It's just been a crazy ride, you know, this year. First time as a parent, doing the channel stuff, doing the regular, you know, 9 to 5 job stuff. It's crazy town in my house. And to think that we're already in June. Absolutely bananas. Anyways, let's go ahead and say hi to some of the wonderful people already joining us in the chat. Shout out to Marco, first person in the chat. Thanks for being a channel member, Marco. Be Shady in the house. How's it going, man? Thank you for being a channel member. Oh, yeah, we got Top Dog. Top Dog, thanks for not only being a channel member, but also a channel moderator. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for watching out for the channel, for keeping an eye on the chat, making sure things don't get too out of hand. I appreciate it. Chris Waris in the house. Thanks for being a channel member, man. This is Sparta! Mark Parks, good to see you, brother. Thank you for being a channel member. Angelo's here as well. Chris229, another channel member. Miranda Hastings, good to see you. Good to see you, Rainey. Guys, if I'm not mistaken, I think Miranda has her own channel. And I think that you should go check it out. Miranda, I watched, I could have sworn I saw a video of yours on YouTube when you were going to the Blade HQ grand reopening. That's pretty cool, right? That's pretty cool. Is it a reopening? Weren't they open before? I don't keep on top of these things. Anyways, check out Miranda's channel. I'm pretty sure she has one. Neil McKenzie, welcome in, man. Good to see you. Thank you for being a channel member. Welcome into Be Devious. All right, I'm trying to catch up. Crazy Roach, good to see you, man. Charles Wooden says, Happy Father's Day, Rollshambo, and all the other dads out there. Yes, a salute to you guys. You know, I was always on the other end of Father's Day, and now the tables have turned, and I'm a father on Father's Day. I'm excited, you know, I'm excited to finally have a day of the year where my efforts are recognized, you know. I'm just kidding. I'm really looking forward to it, though. I think that it's pretty cool. Welcome into Louis. Good to see you, man. All right, guys. So I'm surprised. I changed the waiting screen for the live stream to a picture of a knife that I have not shown on the channel before, because it's a knife that I'm going to be submitting for the first ever, and it's technically the first ever EDC Mod Mayhem competition, and I'm okay showing it. I'm actually entering 2 knives. The other one's not fully built yet. I wasn't sure if I was going to show this one earlier or not, but here it is, guys. This is the Shaman that I'm modifying for the EDC Mod Mayhem competition. And what we're going to do, because last time we didn't really show anything until we were doing the competition, and then we get there and Knife Dope's camera was bad. Duty couldn't get the pictures to show on the screen. So we're not doing that this time. We're doing it a little bit differently. All of the content creators who are going to be joining will be doing videos beforehand. On the website, I'm going to be posting content creators builds as they come in. So I've got a few submissions already. So I've got to do that. Took some photos today of this guy. This is this is a super cool Spyderco shaman, and I didn't go as nuts on this one as I did on my Manix 2, because I did a few things and I'm like, that is perfect. I did go a little more crazy as far as the customization of the Spyderco Para 3 that I'm going to be submitting. I can't show you guys that one because the mods aren't here yet, but this is going to be one of my 2 submissions for the EDC Mod Mayhem competition. And I'm happy to show it to you guys. I'm really excited. It gave me an excuse to get another Spyderco shaman. When my computer burned up early last year, I ended up selling my shaman, and I always regretted it. I'm a bit of a Spyderco fanatic, so for me to not have one, it felt wrong. So it gave me an excuse to get another shaman. This is going to be my entry into the EDC Mod Mayhem, at least one of them. I've got another one in the works as well, because I'm crazy like that. Anyways, let's go ahead and make sure that I'm not missing anything in the chat. Thank you, Top Dog. I appreciate it, man. Hey, welcome into Bluetooth Blades. He says, wait till you see my shaman, Rollo. I can't wait to see it, man. I can't wait. I have a feeling it's going to look awesome. I'm really excited to see everybody's entries. Especially to get some people signed up for the community bracket. I haven't had a whole lot of action on it yet. Today, Duty's Daggers helped me out. He made a logo for our competition website, our EDC Mod Mayhem website. So that's cool. I think I might actually do a little press release on the live stream, like during the live stream. I might go ahead and post something on the channel. Hey, shout out to JD for EDC. If you guys haven't checked him out yet, make sure you do. Good to see you, JD. Is it a happy Father's Day to you, JD? If so, happy Father's Day. Miranda says, I will be posting more pics and videos of EDC gear in the near future. Right on. Do it. Do it. I said it in the last live stream. We need more ladies in this space. We need more diversity. It's always good to see new content, new people. Welcome into Josh 33025. He says, I have a Maximate Para 3 I bought last year waiting for me to build it. I have all the stuff. I just never did it. Josh, here's your chance, man. Join the community bracket. Join it. I will do a press release during the live stream because Duty's Daggers was cool enough. He helped me create a logo, and we're going to blast that out there. We're going to send the link to the website. We're going to make it official. So go ahead and join in, man. It doesn't cost a thing to join. The mods might cost some money, but if you already bought them, you just got to put it together. Put it together, take some pictures, submit it to the competition. The submission expiration date is like July 10th. So you got some time to take the old scales off, put the new scales on, slap on a new clip, whatever it is that is going to make that Para 3 perfect in your eyes. Yes, let me tell you, like this, it's been so hard keeping this one under wraps. I absolutely love it. It's been phenomenal. And I love the clip. Everything is American made. So clip is American made, scales are American made, the blade is American made. And it's just so good. I don't know what to name it yet. That's the thing, is that, It's my rules. I'm like, yeah, you gotta name your build. And I don't have a name for my build. Maybe you guys will help me out. Good to see you, Paul. Welcome in, brother. Let's see. Dwayne Letterman in the house. Welcome in, Dwayne. Thank you for being a channel member. B. Devious says, RG scales on the PM3. Yep, I bought those expensive scales along with the MagnaCut Para 3 to swap blades on my S45. I spent too much, but I'll be happy with a Para 3 Grail. You know, normally I don't do this. I don't show knives on the live stream before I do videos for them. And the reason why is that I'm suspicious, because when I've done that in the past, those videos never performed well. It's like people they saw it on the live and they're like, cool. You know, I'm not going to watch it now. But in the interest of full disclosure, I did not buy the RG Para 3 scales, even though I'm enamored by them. And I didn't, because I already had some Para 3 scales that are being built for this competition, but also because this arrived today. Those who know what this is, you know that this is quite possibly the best contouring / milling that you will find on a sub $500 American-made titanium knife. Like, this is a new release for Three Rivers Manufacturing. It's the titanium lizard skin Neutron 2 in DLC. So they've had the Neutron 2 before, but the DLC is new for 2024, or so I've been told. And I gotta say, guys, I got a lot of things I'm going to talk about. So prove me wrong. Prove me wrong that I didn't just jinx the video for this. Watch the upcoming video on this, because I got a lot of things to say about this knife. But ultimately, I will say this is fantastic. I really, really like this for a number of different reasons. And yeah, they nailed it. They friggin' nailed it. But this is 100% the reason why I did not end up getting the RG Custom Metalworks scales, because I had the opportunity to get this instead. And so I did. And it actually ended up costing less than those scales. It's kind of depressing to think about. That is, yes, it's the Neutron 2, which is very similar looking to the Atom, but a little bit smaller. I still get a full grip, perfect EDC size, whisper thin. It's a Neutron, and they killed it. Mark Park says, Rollshambo, who made that clip? I have not seen that one before. So one of the reasons why we didn't do the whole unveiling of the knives beforehand in the last competition was because there was some fear going around that people would copy everybody else. I'm not afraid of that. Where did I put the knife? Here it is. So this is actually the Shaman clip. It's a recent release from Rip's Garage Tech. So this is the Rip's Garage Tech titanium Shaman clip. If you didn't know, now you know. I saw it. I was looking at several different clips. I did not want to do a bent steel clip on this or a bent titanium clip. It just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. I looked at the options that were available from MXG. I looked at the options from Lynch Northwest. I looked at Mettenboss, and I was like, you know what? I've already done Mettenboss. I'm not going to touch Mettenboss on this next competition. Not because they don't make amazing seals, like Mettenboss kills it, but because I wanted an opportunity to try something new. So yeah. Hold on. Need to hydrate. All right. JD for EDC says Shaman perfected. It's perfected for me. I mean, here's the deal. I know that a lot of people are going to look at this and they're going to say, you should have put on an OCD for EDC compression made easy. I know, I know that that's what they're going to say. I have mixed feelings about that piece. I really do. And I have one installed on a paramilitary too. And sometimes I really like it, sometimes I don't. And that's just how I feel about it. So I decided ultimately, like I went back and forth with myself for about a week on whether or not to get the CME for this guy. And I just couldn't justify it in the end, because to fit this build, I would have had to go with the titanium version, which would have cost like $100 plus waiting time. And then, you know, I just like, for a result that I'm not 100% sure on, that's a lot of money to spend on this. So I decided to call it. I said, you know what, this is good. This one does not have a whole lot that went into it aside from the scales and the clip. And that is my honest to God feeling. But sometimes you don't have to do everything under the sun. If you get there and it's perfect in your eyes, then you've gone far enough. It's not about the number of things that you do. It's about making it fit your style. It's about making it fit, you know, your vision of what you wanted that to be. And it did. It absolutely did. The milling on these scales is fantastic. It's a secondary liner delete, which is awesome. I've been carrying this one a lot. I really have. And I'll have some pictures up on the site here soon. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, I will have pictures on Instagram there soon as well. B Devious says, those damn RG scales cost way too much. I still bought them? What's with the question mark? Did you or did you not? Where were you? Where were you on Friday the 14th of June? What website were you visiting? And are you eating top ramen today? The people need to know. All right. Miranda says, I thought about modding my 15V Shaman for this competition, but I like its stock. I might buy a blue Metin Boss titanium clip, but that's it. Sometimes that's all it takes. You know, there's a thing about Spyderco is that they make a damn good knife, stock. There's a crowd of people that think it's blasphemous to put anything on a Spyderco and make it not stock. I would know. I made a video. Hold on. I've made a video on this guy. This was my Spyderco Para 3. And I'm actually retiring these scales and this hardware set. I modified this almost 3 years ago. And it was one of the first knives I featured on my channel a couple of years ago. And the video blew up. And I made a YouTube short about it, and I said, this knife triggers people. And if you don't believe me, check out the comments section. If you go to that video, if you go to that short, that YouTube short, and you look up this knife triggers people, I call them out directly. And I give them every opportunity to avoid doing it. And they are still there in the comments section, raging away at the modifications I did to this knife. It's a gas station knife. You can't find this in a gas station. Is it for everybody? Absolutely not. But for example, this was built for me, not for everybody. So anyways, I've been wanting to change this up for a minute now because I've been wanting to try some things, and this competition gave me a good opportunity to do that. So I will be retiring these scales and this hardware shortly in favor of some new modifications I'm going to do, and it's going to be kind of a turn of the page, a flip of the chapter, a shift of the gears, because as much as I love this build and it was perfect for me at the time that I built it, my preferences and my tastes have changed since then. They have. I still appreciate what this represents, and I do like it. DNA Lasering did an amazing job on these scales. If you don't know who DNA Lasering is, they're fantastic. Custom engraving out of, I believe it's either Washington or California. Guy is crazy good at what he does. But the scales that I have coming in sing to me in a much, much more recent manner. So I'm going to be retiring the scales, the backspacer, and the hardware. And we'll be installing the blade and the liner and the clip on something new. That's exciting as well. Bluetooth Blade says, don't retire that. Well, I don't have another pair of 3, and I already have scales on the way. I'm not going to throw away the scales or anything. I was actually thinking about doing something really cool with these. Like maybe framing them, putting them on a backdrop. I do like them. I like them a lot. I'm also excited for the custom work that I have coming on these scales, because I'm working with a scale maker here in the US who does custom work, but you don't see his custom work that often anymore, which is shocking to me. But he was willing to work with me. So yeah, I love these scales. I think I'm probably going to frame them. I don't have another pair of 3 though. That's the thing, is that something's got to go. And by go, I mean, I got to change it out on the knife. Jay Korskin says, are those DNA laser? Yes. DNA lasering. One of the reasons why. Okay, so I'll give you another reason. On American made Spydercos, for some reason, I've developed this feeling that it's cringy to not use American made scales. And the reason why is because there is so many makers, so many US makers that make amazing products to modify your Spydercos. And so it's not that I don't think that Flytanium, for example, makes a good product. I know that they do. These are DNA lasering on these scales. He laser etched some Flytanium scales, and there's nothing wrong with that. Except when I go to put this in my display case and all my other Spydercos have American made scales, it feels a bit inconsistent. It feels like I've pieced together something where like 70% of it is, like, not even 70, since those are the scales, like 50% of it is American made, and that bothers me. And it's one of those OCD itches that I just can't shake. I love the scales. I'm going to do something with them. They're a part of the channel and they forever will be, but I got to get some American made scales on there. End of story. Bluetooth Blade says, dude, sell it and get way more out of it. Just get another one. So here's the thing. Have you ever tried to sell a heavily modified Spyderco? Most of the time, let's say for example that I were to try to sell, let's say that I was to try to sell this one. So this has Mettenboss scales, Mettenboss titanium lanyard plug, Mettenboss clip, right? So we're looking at the knife. I think you can get these right now for somewhere in the realm of like 160 to 180 bucks stock. So that's 160 to 180 bucks stock. You add in like what, 160 for the scales. Now you're into it 320 bucks. You add in another 30, 40 bucks for the titanium hardware. So now you're at what? 360. Add in another 20 or 30 for the lanyard plug. Call that 380. Pocket clip is another 60 to 80. So overall, you're looking at like 400 bucks. I'd be lucky if I was to turn around and try to sell this. I'd be lucky to get 200 bucks for this. Don't believe me? Just go on Knife Swap and look up all the modified Spydercos that have been sold. Very few of them get anywhere close to what has been put into them. Anywhere close. Maybe you'll get 50% of the overall cost. And the reason why is because when you modify something like this, you make it perfect for you. And that means that there might be other people out there that agree with you that it's really cool, but that is a very small market. So when I talk about knife modding, I'm going to say this. When you modify a knife, don't do it with the intent on selling it. It's not worth it. it's not worth it. You'll never recoup what it's worth. You'd be better off selling something else because it's just not worth it. You'd be sitting there waiting for someone, a like-minded someone to come along and say, oh yeah, perfect. Those are the exact scales that I wanted. That's the exact clip that I wanted. Plus, it's really hard for me to want to sell something that I've modified because I've got so much of me, of my intent, of my vision in that build. It just doesn't feel right. I've sold a modified Yojimbo 2 before, and I always regretted it. That's just the truth. Like, I missed that knife. I wish I hadn't sold it. And after I did, I promised myself I will not sell my modified knives anymore if I can help it, because it's just not worth it. It's not worth the regret. It's not worth the loss of what you put into it, both physically, emotionally, monetarily. It's just not worth it. The amount of time that I spent, for example, on this one, the amount of time that I spent looking up pieces and parts and then trying different clips, taking, pictures and wondering if I really liked the color combination or whether I really wanted the lanyard plug, which one would fit the best, considering they didn't have one that was supposedly supposed to match these scales, but I found something that was close. That's a lot of time and energy involved. It's not like selling a knife that you just bought and then decided to let go later. It's more than that. And I don't know how to explain it. Am I making a mountain out of a molehill? Maybe. I'm told that is in fact my specialty. Hey, shout out to Oreo Dave. Channel mod in the house. He says, happy Father's Day weekend to all the fathers. Happy Father's Day to you, Dave. Good to see you, man. Thanks for dropping by. Hey, welcome into Jim Miller and also Mike Morgan in the house. Another channel mod. Jim Miller says, it's like customizing a Harley, but much less expensive. Crazy Road says, when you want to sell it for 200, let me know. Never. I appreciate it. I could never do that. But I promise you, if I was to go on Knife Swap right now and look up some like modified Spydercos, you know what? Let's do that. Hold on. We're gonna do this, okay? Let me get to Reddit. Reddit's one of those dangerous places. You never know what you're going to find on Reddit. Okay. And I'm going to share my screen here in a second. Going to Knife Swap. Hold on. Boom. Okay. So if you were to go into Knife Swap on Reddit, right? This is where a lot of knives are sold and bought in the secondhand market. You could say that this is possibly the biggest secondhand market for knives. Look at this, 93,000 members. People go bananas here. So if I was to just type in modified Spyderco, okay. So on this one, they were selling a modified Spyderco. Let's see, how much did they want for it? Okay. Nope, they just modified the edge. It's not really what I was looking for. All right, so this one. Let's check it out. So let's see. They did a rocked spine. They did scales. They did pocket clip. And S30V Shaman, right? Looks like they also did hardware, if I'm not mistaken. So they rocked the spine, which looks crazy cool. They did the hardware. They did the scales. They did the clip. Like, they're in this for some money, okay? And you want to see what they ended up selling it for? Let's see. Doesn't look like they did sell it. No, they didn't sell it. This is an unsold listing. They wanted $280. $280 for that knife is a steal. You have someone's custom work involved, rocking the spine. You've got a new clip. You've got new scales. You got new hardware. $280 is what you'd buy one for, roughly, what, brand new? I guess that's not a modified clip. My bad. Scales and hardware and rocked spine. Not a modified clip. Obviously, they have more into it than what it costs brand new. They couldn't even sell it for the brand new price. And that looks great. That looks fantastic. I should have reached out to them. Maybe they still have it and they would have given me a better deal. Let's see if we can find another one. Modified Spyderco Yo Jumbo. They customized the stonewashed S30V blade with G10 handles, have been shaved and slimmed, bronze hardware's deep carry, pocket clip. They were looking to sell this for $145. So we're gonna leave Reddit behind. I would urge you, do not modify a Spyderco expecting that the secondhand market will be kind to you. I know from experience. I do. Those modifications don't always make the knife more valuable in the eyes of the secondhand market. And that's something that you have to consider if you frequently buy and sell knives is, am I going to resell this? And if the answer is most likely, don't modify it because you're just throwing your money away at that point. That's a fact. Will S says, people want stock and preferably the blade untouched or barely used. I have one of the recent St. Nick's Knives Manix 2 lightweights and 4V DLC coated blade with the red FRCP scales, cut paper 5 times. Nice, man. Very cool. Hey, shout out to Kevin Smith and Knives. Channel member for 2 months. He says 1 for the show, 2 for the moolah. Thanks for being a channel member for 2 months.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Josh says, better luck as an auction on eBay. I try to avoid eBay selling. Like, I have an eBay account. I've sold a few knives on eBay. But I always, like, the thing that sucks about eBay is that unless you have, like, a very recent history with them, you sell let's say you sell a knife and you haven't done any sales with them recently. They will hold the funds until the knife gets there and the person who bought it has to go into eBay and click a button saying, yes, I confirm that I received it. All while having your product and you are trusting them to do that. And if they don't do that, then you have to wait an even longer period of time. So the last time I sold a knife on eBay, I ended up having to wait an entire month for the funds from that sell to actually show up in my bank account. I listed it, I paid the auction fees, I sold it, and 30 days later, that's when I got paid. No. I'm sorry. F you, eBay. I'm like, I did that and I was like, nope, no more. Not doing that anymore. That really, really made me angry. A whole month. And most of the risk was taken by me because the whole time the guy could have said, no, I didn't receive it. And what recourse would I have been left with? Like that was the dumbest thing ever. Days D says, with Spyderco, save the box and the stock hardware. Yeah. I do. I've got Shaman. Hey, does anyone need any Shaman scales, any paramilitary 2 scales, any para 3 scales? I've got smock scales. What do you need? I got it. Hey, shout out to Mark Parks, channel member for 7 months. He says doing this competition on the reg is going to be expensive. You're not wrong. How regularly we do it is going to be very dependent on how popular this first one is. If we can get enough people involved, if we can get enough channels involved, then maybe we can justify it. I'll say this. There's not a single channel that I know of that doesn't have a spending budget when it comes to their channel on a monthly basis. What you decide to spend it on is entirely up to you, right? So I can tell you that a big part of that has gone towards this. It's gone towards this. I have no regrets. It's a ton of fun, and that's what it's supposed to be. I don't do this because I want to compete like I do, but I do it because I love it. So there's that. Josh says, I'm an eBay reseller that only happens when you're a baby account with no feedback. I get paid every day. Nice, man. My account had feedback. It just hadn't been like active. I hadn't sold anything in over 2 years. And so eBay decided, they're like, no. We have to make sure that you're legit. Like, just check the tracking number. Just check the tracking number. Mike Morgan says, I can't even picture getting rid of any of my Spydercos. I've sold a few. Shaman, Yojimbo 2, and then a Magnitude, a Spyderco Magnitude. And I would be just as happy if all of 3 of those were still in my collection. I learned my lesson. I really did. Chris says, I'm looking for a PM2 Tanto. Me too, man. Me too. I don't like buying multiple of the same knives because one of them will always end up getting not carried, which I don't like. However, I make the exception on paramilitary 2s that have different blade shapes. So for example, I've got the Blade Ops exclusive in LMAX that has the Emerson wave built in. It's the Emerson edition. That's a different blade shape than the regular PM2. It's a different grind. And so I don't feel bad because if I want to carry a regular paramilitary 2, I have that. If I want to carry the Emerson edition, I have that. I would also make an exception for the Tanto. I'm not that big on the Wharncliffe version. I know there's a Wharncliffe blade shape out there. I think that the Wharncliffe blade shape is truly hideous. And I know that there are some people who are going to say they're all hideous. Spyderco doesn't make attractive knives. I know. Jim says, I just dedicated a drawer in my case to Spyderco. It is full. So Spydercos have been taking over one of my display cases pretty solidly this year. I want to say that the one to the left of me that you can't see right now, that one is, well, it is full, but it's about 75% modified Spydercos. They've been taking over in spades. Bluetooth says, at this point I haven't sold any knives, but I did make trades. Yeah. Trades are kind of tough because you have to trust that the other side's going to send what they say you're going to send. I ended up with a clone microtech stitch on a swap. It was the only swap I've done. And after that, it kind of soured it for me. Now, could I have avoided that? Could I have done better due diligence at the time? Yes. Was that extra lack of research on me? Yes. Do successful trades and swaps happen every day? Absolutely yes. But it doesn't change the fact that that's what happened the first time I decided to do a swap. I ended up getting scammed. So that left a sour taste in my mouth. And now, anytime someone's like, oh, do you want to do a swap? I'm very skeptical. Like, are you going to send it? Can you prove it's not a clone? Add a timestamp. Ed B says, I saw a Spyderco I kind of like on Blade Show Pocket Check vid. It was their Nirvana. Oh, man. Listen, the Nirvana is absolutely grail material. Absolutely. I've handled one once. And I would really love to have one. There is some whispers that they might be bringing it back for a limited production run. Will it be expensive? Probably. It probably will be really expensive. You know what's not too expensive though? White Mountain Knives is having a Kubi sale. So if you use code Kubi, and I get nothing for this, I'm just letting you people know this is something that we talked about in the members only Discord, which we will get to. I just wanted to bring this up. If you go to White Mountain Knives, and let's say best way to do this, honestly, is to sort price low to high. And then click on in stock. And here you go. Let's say you want to pick up a Kubi Momentum, the titanium Momentum, regularly $176. However, if you take this beauty and you go to, if it ever wants to load, you go to the coupon code section and just type in code Kubi. Check this out. It gets you $57 off. And I mean, remember, no taxes, free shipping. So that's $118 for a knife that is legitimately nearly $200 all day. 35% discount. Use code Kubi at White Mountain Knives. You're welcome. To the people who broke that in the members only Discord, thank you, thank you, thank you. That is a great community shout out. Absolutely. And there's so many good Kubis you can get right now too. You can get the Inner Flow for 118, the Titanium Momentum for 118, the Veloce for 118. There's a lot of good stuff. Kubi Royal Titanium for like what? It's even less. What is that? Like 112? So yeah, code Kubi. You can't stack it with a channel code, which is a bit of a bummer. Justin over at White Mountain Knives figured it out in the last Kubi sale. He's like, holy crap. We ran the sale and people are stacking it with channel codes left and right. And after that, he wisened up. He's like, I got to make some profit on these things. So now you got to choose channel code or code Kubi. Easy decision. Save yourself 35% off. Bananas. All right, let's go over to the members only Discord. Now I showed you guys what I was carrying today. Today carrying the knife that one of the knives that I'm going to be entering into the next mod competition. My Spyderco Shaman, love this thing. And then of course the new Grail acquisition, the Lizard Skin Titanium, Three Rivers Manufacturing Lizard Skin Neutron 2. What did you carry today? What was in your pocket? And if you're wondering how you can get over here to the members only Discord, consider joining the members. Consider joining the ranks of the connoisseurs and collectors. I made it as cheap as I could. Channel membership. We have one level. It's $2.99. That's like buying yourself a Starbucks. You know, probably even less than buying a Starbucks. Once you're in, you're in. Let's see what's going on with the members only Discord today. Fib it a bit. He's got the benchmade. Is that the benchmade? It's not the Freak, is it? I'm not very good with benchmades. I'm sorry. And then he's got a ZT knife. I'm also not very good with ZT knives. One Sneaky Bee's got, that is the standard, that the Golden Design Works standard, right? Or is that the caliber? I believe it's not the Golden Design Works. It is the caliber. I'm not crazy. Okay. It is the caliber. Thank you, self. I believed in me and I was right. Alicord Paracord's got, that looks like Jacob. That looks like a Banish, but it's not. Is that the Vanish? Not entirely sure what that beauty is. That looks like it might be something from... what is that? What is that? That's a custom job. And then, of course, I'm guessing that is a Praetheon. The Arcane Praetheon. Right? Arcane Design Ruby Creature. Is a Ruby Creature it's the PE variant. My bad. The Keennison Canine Pup. There we go. I could have just read the description. Should have done that. Chris Wares, he's got the QSP. Oh, I don't know what model that is. And then a Spyderco Manix 2 and M4. I believe that's the Blade HQ exclusive, right? Kaleidoscope of Knives coming in hot with the... Is that the bestech Sin? It's kind of hard to tell with the blade sticking in the log. The bestech Sin, is that a Vero Engineering something and then a Matzi Striga? Did I get it right? That's the... I was about to say the Sencut Serene, but that's the Civivi Cubit, I believe. Jim Miller with the views today. Looking very good. Looking really good. Spyderco smock on deck. Finally got a smock, man. And did you modify that too? Hold on. We're doing some research. Looking good. Looking very, very, very good. Sage 1 in Maximate, custom smock, and my cheap but excellent Omizio Fixie plus some cows, all for Rollo. Yeah, throw in the cattle, man. I love it. I love the windmill in the background. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a windmill in the background. That's what I'm talking about. That's the American dream. Everyone thinks that Jim Miller is posting, his pocket check, but really his pocket check is the American dream. No. Is it a white picket fence? No. But there are cattle and fresh green grass and a windmill in the background. That's America right there. Shout out to Ed. He's got the Concept, and I think that's a mini Corvid. I believe that's a mini Corvid in Timascus. I want to say that's a mini Corvid. Is that Timascus? I think it is. And then Charles Wooden's got the Truffles. The Aurora Knife and Tools Truffles. Very nice. Very cool. All right. Going to check in with the chat. Will S says, not many knife makers sell their knives at what the buyers think that they should be worth, but odds are you will get at least a good heat treat, even an excellent one with Spyderco. I mean, it kind of depends on what you mean by good heat treat. Spyderco always does a good heat treat, but it's important that we differentiate the difference between heat treat and Rockwell hardness. You can properly heat treat LMAX at 58. You want to know how I know? Because Spyderco's on record heat treating LMAX at 58. Same thing with 20 CV or M390. You can properly heat treat it at 59. The range is, 59 to like 62. The problem is that a lot of people, including myself, I used to make this mistake all the time, thinking that heat treat equals Rockwell hardness. That's not true. The Rockwell is a result of how something is heat treated, but not necessarily how well. You can have a knife with high Rockwell that was improperly heat treated, and you will be able to tell because that knife will not perform well, even with a high Rockwell. Vice versa, you can have a knife that is perfectly heat treated, that's at a lower Rockwell, and it will perform well. So the heat treat is very important. I just want to make sure that we're talking about the right thing. Spyderco normally hits the higher end of the Rockwell suggestion, the Rockwell target from these from the steel makers like Crucible, but they're not perfect. It's not like they always hit the highest numbers. MagnaCut gives you the best edge retention, and the best combo of edge retention, toughness, and corrosion resistance at around 63 to 65. And the reason why is because even though you lose a little bit of toughness at say like 63 or 64, at 64 or 65, Rockwell properly heat treated MagnaCut still has the toughness of 10V. No one's going to complain about that. Like, that's fantastic, but it also at that point has edge retention up there with S45VN instead of the D2 that you get at 62. So Spyderco, they're on record heat treating LMAX around 58 to 59. They're on record heat treating MagnaCut between 62 and 63. I would say 61 and 63 is probably the range that they target. Is there anything wrong with that? No. For most people, I'd say about 70% of people are not going to notice a difference because they're not doing things like, they're not doing cut tests. They're not doing edge retention testing. They're just living their life, using their knives, sharpening them when they get dull. The biggest difference people are going to notice on something like that is going to be how frequently do I have to sharpen it? How long does it take me to sharpen? How well does it hold up? Does the edge chip? People hop in my comment sections all the time, and I know I've gone off on a tangent, but bear with me. People hop in the comment sections of my Steel Snobs videos all the time, and they said, I bet I'd pay you $50 if you could tell the difference between blah, blah, blah and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? Hand me a Maximate Spyderco and then hand me, an S35VN Spyderco. Drop them face first on carpet, on the ground, whatever. And I can tell right away which one was Maximate because the Maximate one will break. I promise you. So yes, you can tell a difference. Will most people? Maybe not. Hey, shout out to LCV Blades Edge, channel member for 2 months. He says, 2 months, I love it, making a jailhouse burrito. Thank you for watching, for supporting, and for being a channel member, LCV Blades Edge. Ed B says it's the Corvette M Plus. It's kind of close. All these Corvettes look the same to me. The M Plus is a good one. I really like the M Plus. Mike Morgan says, Paramilitary 2 S90V plus case sodbuster in 1095 today. Oh, yeah. Man, very nice. Bluetooth Blades is packing the Kaimano in purple haze today. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait. Speaking of Mangana steel, I cannot wait to check out Sharif's new prototype. He's promised me that after Blade Show, he would send it to me, that we would make this happen. I can't wait. Hey, thanks for joining in, Oreo Dave. Have a great rest of your night, brother. Sweet dreams and happy Father's Day. Will S says, I have 3 NAFs in my pocket and 1 in my laptop backpack plus a Leatherman on my belt. So you're not lacking. You're not going to be caught lacking out here. If something needs to be cut or severed, you're the man to call, officially. Welcome into Tony Rockfort. It says, Vosteed Psyop or the RS Chaos, which is better? Ooh, okay. So this is the Vosteed Psyop. I did also have an RS Chaos. In fact, I got in on the original release on the RS Chaos. Now, I'm going to start by saying this. The version that I had, the very first version that I had T6 body screws, and that was something that I didn't like. Is it a gigantic deal? No. They also ended up changing that in later models. But then they also ended up changing the name because initially it was the Vosteed Mayhem, but it was being released around the same time as the Cold Steel Mayhem. Cold Steel said to Vosteed, don't do that. You're going to make us angry and you don't want to see us when we're angry. And so Vosteed said, it's okay. It's okay. We'll just change the name. And so then they changed it to the Chaos. As far as the knives are concerned, I'm going to say this. They did change the compression mechanism in the PSYOP versus the RS Chaos. The RS Chaos, the liner that's part of the compression lock, is about that wide, and it just kind of slips in between the scale and the backspacer. This has a liner that is about the same, and this actually looks like a full liner, but it's not. And it basically bolts in to the rest of the liner. I believe that the compression lock is better and more sturdy on the PSYOP than it is on the Chaos. And for that reason alone, because something like blade shape is going to be very, very much up to the person, up to the eye of the beholder, I think they're both amazing knives. If you were to put both in front of me and said, you know what, take your pick of any milling, any colors, any steel options available for these knives, the one I would go with 10 out of 10 times would be the PSYOP. This is 100% a knife of the year candidate. It has been dominating my pocket. Tough Knives killed it, man. Jeff Blauvelt, he killed it. If there is one knife that you have to get in 2024 and you have 250, 260 bucks, get a PSYOP, thank me later. I would not hesitate. If you already have a PSYOP, I would actually get a Chaos because I think that they would be really cool as a collection piece. 2 premium Vosteed compression locks. What makes the Chaos such a great knife is that it's the first iteration of a popular knife brand using the compression lock. Ever since Spyderco they didn't let the patent expire. Let me get that straight. The utility patent expired. They could not renew it. And companies were scared because Spyderco, like many popular American-made knife companies, is litigious. And they're like, we're not Tony Marfione, but we'll sue the shit out of you. All right. My bad. I don't typically cuss on the channel. I know. Hey, welcome into Bluetooth Blades. I thought you were already a connoisseur and collector. Or is that a renewal message? Welcome back, man. Welcome back. Bluetooth Blade says, I'm green again. We accept all colors here. Green, purple, except for yellow. I'm not really a big fan of yellow on knives. Welcome back, man. LCB Blades Edge says, I bought the Crew Carta for $212 or something. It's a 2022 batch. Very nice. Ryan says, the PSYOP is legit, can confirm. Easily one of the best purchases this year. Easily. This is a knife that I don't have to think twice. Like, typically I have to find a reason to carry something else. It is one of my most carried knives, period. I stand behind it and I've used it. It's not just like I, fidget with it. Like, I've cut through boxes. I've cut tests with this. The LMAX is solid. Vosteed did a great job. Tough Knives designed one hell of a knife. The action is good. Lockup is solid. If you want to watch my review on it, go watch my review on it. I would, in fact, pick this over a Chaos. If I could only have one, I would pick the PSYOP. The Chaos is a really cool knife too. Don't get me wrong. Love that knife. As far as aesthetics, user friendliness, blade shape, materials, you can get a Chaos in LMAX, but I thought a lot of them came with like S35VN. Mine did. They ended up coming out with some later that had LMAX, but the PSYOP is LMAX right out of the gates, baby. Big old choke up point. Actually improved on the ergos, I believe. Just throwing that out there. Will S says, I dropped a CTS XHP Warncliffe on the rocks. I still have a trace of the chip on the edge. Even after sharpening, it hurts. Yeah, but you know what? At least it wasn't Maxmit, because if it was Maxmit, the whole blade would have snapped. And I'm not exaggerating. Maxmit will do that. Mike Morgan says, having neither, I'd pick the Psyop. Big handle, bunch of junk on the blade, and then a little cutting at the edge on the RS Chaos. Yep, I would also go with the Psyop. Will S says, the patent expired, but I think Spyderco still retains the trademark on the name Compression Lock. Afraid they're the only one using the name for that lock. Yeah, look, it's no different than benchmade, having a trademark on the name Axis Lock. So, like, think about how many knives have a crossbar. We'll call it what it is, a crossbar style lock, right? They don't call it the Axis Lock. Not because they don't want to, but because that is Benchmade's trademark. The utility patent expired, and that's why other companies can make that type of knife lock. It can be identical in every single way, but they cannot use Benchmade's name. Same thing with Spyderco's compression lock. What makes a compression lock different than a liner lock is that on a compression lock, in case you don't know, a compression lock sandwiches the tang of the blade, it sandwiches the liner between the tang of the blade and the stop pin. On a regular liner lock, it doesn't do that. A compression lock is much sturdier. It has multiple contact points with that liner in a way that a regular liner lock does not. So a compression lock is different than a regular liner lock, even though it looks similar. So that is in fact what is happening on the Vosti calls it the top liner lock. We're going to call it the compression lock. It's a compression lock. That's what it is. It's a compression lock. They can't call it a compression lock because Spyderco will sue them. But that is in fact what it is. Just like how Kershaw had trademarked the sub liner lock. They had a utility patent on that. But it doesn't change what it is. A name doesn't change what it is. It really doesn't. Fred the Lug says, check out the Golden Design caliber. I think it really gives the Psyop a challenge. In my opinion, the button actuated frame lock is even better than the button actuated liner lock. It could be, man. It could be. You know what? Here's the deal. Like, I'm kind of salty on, I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys. I'm kind of salty on the Golden Design caliber because I reached out to them and I said, hey, do you have a pass around going on? And they said, yeah. And I said, can I join? And they said, yeah. They said, put your name on this list and we'll get it out to you. That happened last year. I put my name on the list. It never got sent out to me. And that makes me kind of salty because it makes me feel like they didn't value the feedback of this channel. I'm sure it's a great knife. It is hard for me to move past that simply because of my interaction with the owner. Like, if the answer is no, that's totally fine. I can take rejection. You know, at one point in time, I was a young teenage man in high school. I took rejection all the time. You fellas know what I'm talking about. I just don't like being told that something's going to happen and then it doesn't. And that kind of soured it for me, especially when there's so many other knives that I want to check out. So would I like to check out a Golden Design caliber? Yes. Is it high on my list right now? No. Will we check one out? I hope so. I sincerely do. I would really like to get a feel for it myself. I think a button actuated frame lock is really cool. That's actually why I reached out to them initially. It is what it is. Ghostkeeper says, I just don't need LMAX. Like your video says, everyone is wrong about D2. I love it for EDC holds a crazy good edge, being carrying the bestech slasher XL sharpened if down to 15 degrees. Crazy sharp. Yeah, man. D2, properly done D2 is really good. especially if you get it down to, I would say 15 to 17. If you're in that range, 15 to 17, D2 is fantastic. And it's not too terribly hard to keep there either. Like maintaining a 17 degree edge is super easy. I think that if people knew, if they took the time to reprofile their edge to 17 degrees, they would know. Will S says, I hope more knife makers use the compression lock for their knives. It's one of my favorite locks. Mine too. And they've got a big opportunity. I want to see a market shift from using plunge lock buttons to using compression buttons. I would love to see that happen because they're just better. They're sturdier. They're more reliable. They have better detents because they actually have detents. And I will live by that. I will. Ghostkeeper says, also loving all my Nitro V and 14C knives. Nice, man. Ryan says, salty or not, it's a fantastic knife. I love the lock. Maybe it wasn't intentional. Pass around rely on a lot of people. So I'll say this, being part of several pass rounds, they do rely on a lot of people, but they also rely on the people that run them. A pass round is only as good as the person that runs it. And that is why, to this date, I've tried many pass rounds. The top two, one was the Apex pass round that was being run by Blade Banter. The second one is the Lefty EDC pass round. And it takes a lot of work. The reason why I don't run a pass round myself is because it's a lot of extra work that I know I can't do. I don't have the time for it. So I recognize that that pass rounds require a lot. But if I reach out to somebody and I say, hey, can I get in on this? And they say yes. And then I follow up and I get nothing. I've done my part. I do want to check out the Golden Design Works caliber. It does look great. I love the blade shape on it. And I love the idea of a button actuated frame lock too, because frame locks can be really extremely solid. Bluetooth Blade says, I have a compression lock on my flush valve on my toilet just because. Oh, man. Hey, welcome in to Blue Minati Ninja. Blue, what's up? What's up, dude? Mike Morgan says, I just got a super lock. Pretty neat. You know what I like about the super lock? The super lock was a Snex design, and he intentionally did not put a utility patent on it. He came out with that long before Andrew Demko ever came out with the Shark lock, and they do not even operate the same way. They look similar because they're spine locks. A lot of people get this wrong, but Snex, the designer, is a true badass. He is a certified badass. Because he created one of the strongest utility locks. And then he said, you know what? There is no patent on this. If you want to use it, use it. And he was public about that. And it's very sturdy and it's very well done. And then almost nobody uses it. You know, Tactile does. Shout out to Tactile for doing that. But I digress. Hey, welcome into Dion Page.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Nobody's mentioned the fact that I broke out the OG hat. Nobody's mentioned that. It has been probably over 2 months since I wore this hat. The reason why is because I lost it and I found it yesterday. It needs to be cleaned, but I broke it out. I broke it out to see if anybody would remember the hat. Will S says, Cedric and Ada's channel cut tested the Vision FG from Civivi and he destroyed the blade, showing how strong the lock was. Yeah, the lock will outlast the blade. No problem. I love Cedric and Ada's channel. Fantastic. I've watched so many hours of their channel. Pete does good work, without a doubt. Crazy Roach, you and I are on the same wavelength, my guy. It is 11 minutes past the hour. So we are, in fact, going to go ahead and call it. B. Devious says lost and found hat. Indeed. Old channel logo right there. But it's one of my favorite hats. But I lost it. Now I need to clean it. But I thought, you know what? I'll wear it. I want to do a run of some merch, but with the new logo. Fred the Lug says we came out with the new Sneck lock, which is much smaller than the old version. This one will allow it to get on smaller knives. I think it will increase the amount of knives that use it now. I hope so. The super lock is fantastic. I really do. Louis says it's a hard lock to use, in my opinion. There are some updates that can be made to it to make it more user friendly. I would definitely agree with that. All right, guys, we're 12 minutes past the hour. Believe it or not, I'm about to go on a late night grocery run because I decided to wait until after the live stream to do that because people out here are crazy on the weekends. Anyways, for all of you who watch my videos, thank you. To all of the subscribers, thank you. To all of the channel members, thank you. I would not and could not do any of this without you guys. You are, in fact, the reason why I keep doing this, the reason why I keep spending hours a day, hours a night, researching topics for videos, researching stuff for Steel Snobs episodes. You're 100% the reason why I wanted to do more than one live stream a week, and I've really enjoyed that. So thank you guys. I am going to call it a night. The next time you can tune into a live stream will be Wednesday at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and because nobody has Mountain Standard Time except for Colorado, that is 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. I think I got it. Guys, for some of y'all, I will see you soon. For everyone else, I will see you later.